super scientists. We are, today we have Einstein with us, and Einstein teddy bear just down here as well, as you can probably just see. Okay, so today we're going to look at the water cycle and we're going to span the whole key stages. I'm going to give you some practical ideas that you can do at home to make science more fun during lockdown. After all, that's what separates us from other subjects. If you're getting fed up of writing and you're getting bored, you don't have to just learn by writing, you can learn by doing practical work too. So I'm going to give you some great ideas of what to do today to make science a lot more fun. Today I've got a watering can and I've got a rose for a hose, and we're going to use these two today along with a measuring jug to do a Key Stage 1 practical activity to understand the water cycle. The only thing that Key Stage 1 need to understand is that the water comes from the sky in the form of rain, and then that water evaporates and goes back into the sky again. But how can you demonstrate that to them? Well, I've got a great activity for you to do. Ask your mum and dads to help you. Fill up your watering can. If you've got a rose on the end, then that is great. If you don't have one of these, but you have a hose pipe with a rose on the end, then that's also great. If you don't have one of these with a sprinkle on it, it doesn't matter. You can fill up the water from a tap. It's absolutely fine. So once you've got your water, make sure you measure it in a measuring jug. I'm just coming closer to you so that you can see that I've got a measuring jug here, look. And I've got a given quantity of water in there, so I know how much water I've got. That effectively is my rain. I'm just going to put my watering can and hose rose down, and I'm going to pick up this. I've just got a plastic tub here. Any plastic tub is absolutely fine. With your given amount of rainwater, you just tip it into the plastic tub like so. And then you just place the plastic tub outside on a table or on the ground, and you need to leave it somewhere where it's sunny. If you don't have an outside, then that's absolutely fine. You can just leave it on your windowsill, that will work too. You need to then go back every hour and tip this water back into your measuring jug. And then you need to have a look at exactly how much water is in that measuring jug, and you can probably see, if I make it straight, that we've lost a little bit. We're imagining it's an hour later. It's actually still inside this tub, but we're just trying to imagine what would happen in an hour's time if it was left in a warm place. And then an hour later, you would go back and measure it again, and you would have less, and then you go back and measure it again, have less, and they'd say to you, what's happening to the water? And you can say it's evaporating and going back into the sky to form clouds, and it will become rain again. Okay, so that's part of the water cycle for Key Stage 1. This is the time where Key Stage 1 can go and have a go at that activity. So well done everyone for logging on every day, downloading the worksheets, doing the activities and having a go at the practical stuff. It's absolutely brilliant for you to be joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Key Stage 2, 3 and 4, stay where you are. Okay, so I'm going to now talk to Key Stage 2 about a lovely practical activity that you can do at home, and it's called a working water cycle. And actually it's one of my Power Practicals. If I turn around here, it's number 26, working water cycle. They're only £1 each. If you log on to my shop, you could order one of these for yourself and your friends, and you could do it on FaceTime and show them, and you could compare your working water cycles with each other if you like. So let's see what you get in the bag. I'm just going to open this one. Okay, so inside the bag, I've got a plastic bag here that is resealable, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that bag with a little bit of water. But before I do that, I'm going to draw a picture on my working water cycle. I'm just going to turn around here because I'm going to show you something inside here. This is your method that you get inside your pack, and these are your answers. So you get a method card like this, and you get the activities, the go further activity at the bottom, and then there's answers on the back. but I'm asking you to draw this picture on your bag. So if I hold it close like that, you can take a screenshot. That's it. And then you can draw that picture onto your bag. Okay, once you've done that, you can put some food colouring, and I've got a little bit in a vial here. I'm just going to put it into my water like so. It just makes it a little bit easier to see the experiment if you have got it inside, food colouring inside the water. So look, here we go. Fantastic, we've now got yellow water. I'm going to tip that into my food bag carefully, like so. And I will already have the diagram that I showed you earlier drawn onto my bag, and I have sealed my bag now. So in theory, if I turn it upside down, it shouldn't come out, and it doesn't, which is great. So my bag is now sealed. And I've got my picture on there. Imagine that my picture is on there, and it would be this picture, if you remember, would be drawn on the bag. And also inside there, you get a little piece of sellotape, which you can pull off of the thing like that, and then you can stick it to a glass window. Now, I've got my whiteboard here because it's in good view of you, so I'm going to stick my working water cycle like so onto my whiteboard. Can you see that? And that would be stuck on your window, but you will have drawn on it in felt tip pen that picture. And what you will notice when you have it on your window, especially on a hot day, is that the water will start to evaporate and go up the bag. And then as it reaches the top of the bag, it starts to cool, like a convection current. So hot air rises and the heat rises, and as it goes further up, it starts to cool. And that means that it starts to fall again. So you end up with this cyclic movement, which is why it's called a water cycle. But we have to indicate how the water moves through that cycle. So we now know we've got this movement. So the water evaporates, comes up the top of the bag, and then starts to cool down, and it condenses again. And the word condensing means it turns back into water again and trickles back down the bag in the form of rain if it was a water cycle. So that is actually a water cycle in action. It's really good practical. I do recommend that you try it because it's really easy to do. And if you don't have everything, that's fine. You can just log on to my shop and order one of the practicals. They're only £1. And then you can give this practical a go. And it lasts for absolutely ages. You can leave it stuck there for a while. Just check with your parents which window you're allowed to stick it to. If you don't have it stuck there for very long, the sellotape doesn't leave any marks on the window. If you have it stuck there for days, it might leave marks, so just be careful about that. Okay, so that's a working water cycle in action. Another experiment you can do to test this theory out, and I would like this to be for Key Stage 3 to have a go at, is I would like you to actually have a look at condensing. I'd like you to boil the kettle and fill a cup half full of water. And then what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to place a plate on top of it. That plate should be cold. And what will happen is it will show the proper working water cycle where the water, as it's really hot, will form steam and it will evaporate and rise. And then it will touch the top of the plate that is on top of the cup, which is cold, and that steam will condense into water and it will start to form droplets again and drop back down into the cup in the form of like rain if it was a water cycle. Now, because you've got a plate on top, you probably won't be able to see those drops of water coming back down again. But what you will be able to do if you go back to the cup in about 10 minutes time, when you take the plate off, is you will see droplets of water on the underside of the plate that was in contact with the steam. Okay, so it's a really good experiment to do. I totally recommend that you try it. and you should have loads of fun doing that activity. So don't forget to like the video, click thumbs up because I want you to actually press the like button on the video, please. And also don't forget to download the worksheets, which are available in the description. And don't forget to click on the right key stage. There are worksheets there for Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 4. Today, Key Stage 4, what I'm going to ask you to do is I have attached in the description a working water cycle worksheet that I would like you to fill in to show the gaps as to what's happening at the different stages in terms of evaporating and condensing and naming the correct scientific name for rain, precipitation. And I would also like you to have a look at the carbon cycle which is attached. I've got a worksheet there and an exam question that shows, there's a 6-mark question that asks you to describe how carbon is put back into the environment and how it is taken from the environment by different processes, and you have to name those processes. So I'd like you to have a go at those activities today. So that is the working water cycle, literally working in action. Don't forget to keep doing science practical activities, because after all, the practical activities are the ones that make science fun and separate us from other subjects. If you're bored of writing, just do practical work. It is amazing and you will learn a lot from it. Don't forget to send me pictures of what you're doing. I really look forward to seeing it, and have fun doing science practicals at home. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for another science activity. Take care everyone. Okay, bye.